Well, I'm back. The king on his throne, high atop, looking over all of Millville, actually looking over at the courtyard here at Mr. Small's Theater. Happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. This is my first show since the holiday, and I just found some interesting reports, an interesting news report. New information has been discovered, a diary of George Washington, America's first president, and apparently during his campaign in western Pennsylvania during the French and Indian War, he had this grand vision of a highway that would connect a certain region of, I'm telling you, the founding fathers, people talk about their vision and their ability to see into the future and see the future problems of this nation. Well, apparently George Washington, in his diary, wrote, it's an uncovered, brand new document, never before seen. He wrote that he could envision a highway connecting the hills in the southern region near what we call the Mon Valley today that would connect all the way up to a parkway east.
I love watching you bury the lead every morning.
And
it's fantastic.
So he had this vision, and he wrote it in his diary, and he was hoping it would come to fruition, and now we have people like Bill Peduto, people like Ritz Fitzgerald, standing in the way of the vision of George Washington, one of our founding fathers. So really, who are you going to trust? Someone like George Washington, a man who, unlike myself, I humbly take the title of the King of the Allegheny. You know, George Washington was offered to be the King of the United States of America, turned it down in his humility. He's a good guy. I think we need to follow his lead and complete the Monfayette Expressway. That's my opinion. I am Brian Crawford. I am the mouth of Millville, here broadcasting up on the hill inside Mr. Small's Theater in the back of the building. You're listening to Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, the River's Edge Radio Network, found at riversedgepgh.com, Pittsburgh's local music radio station. You can hit us up on Twitter at RiverTalkPGH, or you can shoot me a line in the Facebook Live page right there on the River's Edge Facebook page. So speaking of cars and speaking of cars in the news, right now they are working, the state is going to be suspending registrations of cars that owe turnpike fees.
Wow.
So right now, if you have unpaid turnpike fees, you could lose your registration. Right now, they are saying that the Turnpike Commission is owed more than $17 million in unpaid tolls. So I look at this, and I wonder how anyone could pay the tolls. First off, that we were talking about the Monfayette Expressway. No one can afford to use it, for one. If you ever tried to use it, it's unbelievably expensive. It's actually, I think, about the same amount of money to spend the gas to drive a further distance and avoid the Monfayette Expressway than it is to actually use the road.
Oh, most of these highways just cut off time. They don't actually save money unless you're engaging in commerce.
Yeah, I feel like I'm willing to pay more in taxes to avoid these obscene tolls.
Yeah, well, and having what's essentially a privatized highway never makes sense because it just creates two classes of people, some that get to go in this way, right?
Have you ever used 43?
Lord, no.
Oh, it's actually a wonderful experience as far as like the driving experience.
No, my Google routes me around all the tolls.
Oh, yeah, when you live down there, it's like every once in a while you kind of have to. I lived down at Cal U, and yeah, I always avoided it, but every once in a blue moon, it was just like, you know what, I'm just going to pay the money. But the thing is they make it so impossible to pay now.
They should just call it Rich People Highway. Well,
the thing is, they have the Easy Pass, and they want to give you a discount to use the Easy Pass, but they take like $30-some out in one chunk. Every time you go low, it just instantly, boom, hits your account, $30 right out of there. So if you're somebody living paycheck to paycheck,
right.
$30 as a, surprise, woo! That's not a great way to wake up and start your day. with $30 coming out of your wallet. So
And they don't have a cash pay on that at all?
no, it comes right out of your checking account, and that's the only way to get the discounts. And if you are paying cash, there are no longer any toll collectors on most of these roads, except for the main turnpike road, which even that there's like usually one guy in the far corner, and everybody else is like fighting over him. So
Right.
it's not a good situation to be in.
Because they're trying to phase out cash and anonymity and anonymous travel.
Yeah, I like cash. I like going to.
love
Actually,
cash.
I don't like going to the toll booth people because they're usually pretty miserable. Every once in a while, you get a really nice person.
But that's your opportunity to be nice to someone who's really
Oh,
unhappy.
screw them. They make so much money. They make like twice what I make.
They have the highest suicide
And
rate
they
of any
do
profession.
absolutely nothing. I mean, like literally, they sit there and they just collect coins.
Oh, it's the
I mean, the
loneliest
worst.
job.
No, it's not. You talk to like 1 million people a day.
Oh, you have these surface interactions.
Especially now, that's all I want with most people. Trust me. You work in a restaurant. I've worked retail for years. Trust me, most people, the minimum contact I have to have with them, the better. By God, I was talking about some guy the other day. I used to be a salesperson at Lazy Boy, and this guy comes in, and he comes in with this attitude right to start, because he thinks that if he can be a douchebag and he can be a jackass, that for some reason that's going to get him a better deal. That's what he's thinking. So he comes in, he's an asshole, and that just never works with me. And first off, Lazy Boy's like Walmart, not as far as like their stuff's really good quality at Lazy Boy, but as far as like whatever the price is, that's what the price is. They have their sales. There's no commission.
That's pretty
there's
much
no,
everywhere in the U.S.
There's
at
no
this point.
haggling. Yeah, it's not like you could take a cut. So this guy comes in thinking that he's going to get one over on me by being an asshole. And I tried to be nice. And then he starts basically accusing me of lying. So I get in his face. I said, "Don't you dare accuse me of lying!" Screaming,
spat on
spit
me.
flying like right now. All the managers are staring at me like, what the hell? And I'm screaming at this guy, "Don't you dare!" So then he buys from me. He gets like the extra insurance, everything. And everyone's like, he's going to cancel. He's going to return his stuff within like the end of the week. Well, the guy ends up keeping everything. I think he just needed to be put in his place like the bitch he is. So the other day, I was downtown. Yesterday I was downtown. I took a river walk, which is something I enjoy
Nice.
doing. You walk along the river.
Yeah, I do
And-
those and river bike rides. So good. The river's fantastic.
The river's wonderful. Yeah, I'm a big fan of
it's
the
right
river.
near where I work.
Yeah, it's near where I work, but it's kind of a walk. But anyways, I love walking downtown along the river, and a few friends of mine came out yesterday, and we decided to do the river walk, which is something we haven't done in some time. So it was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable, and it got even more enjoyable. We get downtown, and we get to Penn Avenue, and they're having this Italian festival.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I biked through
Downtown.
that yesterday.
Yes.
No.
Retribution. Payback's a bitch.
What?
I
literally biked through it.
I loved watching the pissed off faces of all of the cyclists as their bike lane was shut down. Kind of like the closed streets, open streets fiasco, where they call it open streets by closing it down.
Correct me if
It
I'm
was
wrong.
so great to see all of these people detoured, all of these people deal with the pain and suffering that they inflict on all of us. It was wonderful.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Justice is served.
But
Well, at least a slice of justice. I don't think we could ever be repaid for the pain, the suffering, and the raiding of our land that these cyclists have committed upon the indigenous the indigenous road travelers.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't those hordes of pasta-sucking Goombas also impede automotive traffic?
Yeah, but you know what? We're used to that. See, we've been put down and subjected for years in the automotive community, usually at the hands of the cyclists. So it was wonderful just to see them displaced. and see the anguish on their faces as they have to rearrange their travel plans.
I've never seen a bigger horde of sheep. All these people just standing around waiting to get fed. People basically came down there to stand in bread lines. Like, it was amazing.
It was wonderful.
It was hot. It was sunny.
It was a beautiful
Bread
day.
lines is racist?
It was awesome. They had
pasta sucking Goombas was fine, but bread lines is racist.
the what is it called? The cornhole. They had lasso golf. They had all of the things. What they should have done is they should have put the lasso golf right in the middle of the bike lane just to prove a point.
I love Italians because they're like the last ethnicity you can just slur about because they've had a pretty good run of it.
Well, the one thing I love about Italians too is the fact that they have the guts to stand up to the bike lobby. No one else in Pittsburgh. I could not believe that they were able to pull that off.
Oh, please! The furries had the bike lane shut down for their parade as well.
I thought for sure
was delightful.
I thought for sure they would have shut down, I don't know, Grant Avenue, something to just create chaos for everyone else in town. But no, and it was great just watching all of these people zigzag and try to get around the crowd, so pissed off and agitated and aggravated. A cyclist tried to assault me the other day.
That didn't happen.
No, it did. I was on the trail, and this woman came flying in on the left side of the trail and almost took me out. But a change of events, she was not prepared and stumbled and completely fell off of her bike out onto the river trail. So she tried to go out of her lane, tried to take out the king, but I cannot be stopped.
Are you telling us that you pushed a woman off her bike?
No, she actually did run into me. She ran into me. I was like coming off of that little bridge access from Hers Island. And yeah, this woman tried to take me out.
It's like she was coming right for me. I had no choice but to defend myself.
It was pretty awful. Well, we're going to talk about an awful car situation that I've been dealing with in one of the questions on today's show. So we've got a few things coming on today. We have some really it's going to be a fun show, I think. We have a great story, a great end time story that we will be bringing you today. And we also have Nathan of Standard Broadcast. He's going to be in as well as our guest. And we're going to talk about a basketball court fiasco out in McDonald, Pennsylvania. We've got all of that and, of course, your weird news. That's all coming up. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to tell a story about a car crisis that I had and a really interesting cleaning solution that I learned as far as cleaning your car. It was a really weird situation. It happened in Pittsburgh. It's actually pretty relevant for anybody who drives anything, even a bike, I think, in the city of Pittsburgh.
I also drive a car. I do.
That's true. You do own a car. I just imagine you
sympathize with automotive drivers.
You're one of those people you hate yourself. You're self-loathing. Learn to love yourself, Michael. It's okay. It's okay to pat yourself on the back every once in a while. I'm Brian Crawford. You're listening to The River's Edge. We'll be back in a few minutes. Brian Crawford letting you know that Kevin Sludge, my State Farm agent in Allison Park, is here to help life go right and reminds you that you're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network. All right, so yesterday, was it yesterday? No, Saturday. So Saturday we go on these epic brunches. You know my friends Ian Insect, Liz Tripoli, they're two comedians here in Pittsburgh. So every Saturday we have this thing where we go on a brunch, and it ends up turning into like a brunch crawl typically. Okay. So it's like we go out to eat somewhere and then we kind of start bar hopping throughout a town. So this past weekend...
What you're saying is you guys get together and day drink on Sundays.
It's on Saturday and it's a brunch.
Okay.
Where it's a very sophisticated affair. We find some sort of establishment to go and give money to and support, some sort of local place, because we're very good, upstanding, caring people. So we go out and we go to a local business, we give them a few bucks, and then we want to make sure that we express our love to all businesses, and we don't want to single anyone out. We don't want to make one particular business owner feel bad. So we kind of go to multiple businesses to spread the love. It's a matter of generosity.
Drunk for a cause. I love it.
Exactly, yes. So we usually do a brunch tour, but we were all a little poor this week. So we all went to Liz's place. And actually, we went here first. We recorded a few things, and then we went to Liz's place. So we're there. And I parked under this bridge. And you would think in a rainstorm that would be like a positive.
Okay.
Because it's a shelter, right? It's almost like a city-owned parking shelter, right? Wrong. So the question of the day is, what exactly fell from the bridge and onto my car?
Ooh, option 1, rock. Was it rock?
I don't think it was rock.
Was it bird poop?
I don't think it was bird poop. I don't know what it was. It was substance X, but it fell onto my car, some sort of sludge. And I have an idea of what it might be, and I'll bring that into play a little bit later in today's show. But if anybody has an idea as to what could have fallen onto my car, please let me know at River Talk PGH. But it rained, and I go out after I'm done with the day-long brunch, which starts around 11 in the morning, and it ended somewhere around 9 p.m. But I go outside, I get to my car, and it was filthy. Like, the windshield was just covered in this sludge, this substance X, and I turn on the car, I turn on the windshields, I hit the fluid to clear it off, and it did nothing.
It was probably liquid karma.
No, I only get good karma because I just spread joy and good vibes throughout the city of Pittsburgh.
Anti-bike related liquid karma.
No, that's called justice, my friend. If anything, the karma would be coming back in full. Like Sunday when that woman tried to take me out and she ended up flying across the bike lane.
Brian pushed a woman off her bike.
So, she was in my way. So, I'm there, the bridge, it's awful. I get to a gas station, I'm trying to wipe it off, it won't come off. So I get just enough where I can kind of like have like a little like eye slot that I could, drive granny style into, the steering wheel, when your like face is buried into the steering wheel because you're trying to peer through because your cataracts are taking over your eye sockets. So I'm granny styling it all the way to the North Hills in Ross Township on Babcock Boulevard, where I know of a car wash. And that's the only one I know of. So I know of two. They're both right there. So I get to the automatic one, and I spend like $4 on this car wash. And I've got the scrubber, and I'm doing the thing, and I'm using the brush, and I'm spraying down, and I'm doing all of that stuff. And there's still streaks. It's almost like sticker residue all over my windshield. I get back home, and I really get to look at it in the light, and it looks like I hadn't washed the car in months. Nothing happened. Like, literally nothing came off of this car. So the next day, I go to Sheetz, and I go into the automatic car wash, and I'm thinking, with the automatic, the force of the water from the automatic car wash has got to dislodge substance X from my car. And it did some, but it still looked like I hadn't washed the car in months. It was awful. So I didn't know what to do, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do to this car to get this stuff off? Like, I don't know of any other way to clean a car. So I'm asking all of, my car nut friends, like, what the hell do I do to get this stuff off of my car?
I really want this to be the longest way to go to, like, plugging us a new sponsor that sells something that cleans cars.
WD-40, man, I will give you a free plug today. So I literally sprayed my car with WD-40, and that's the only thing that got this off. WD-40.
WD-40, when you need to get off.
Yes. So I don't know what this stuff was. It couldn't be just like mud. I mean, I used to have a Jeep. You would go into muddy frickin' areas and just wreak havoc, and you could go through the car wash and get it off. I mean, this would not come off. I had to literally spray WD-40 and like scrub to get this substance off of my car, and it came from a bridge.
Not to, blow up Liz's residential area, but which bridge is this?
It wasn't one that went over water. It's the one near the big South Side clock.
Okay.
That bridge. So I don't know what it could be. I don't know. I mean, It
That
could
one
be.
carries trains. That's a train trestle, right? Or is it a bridge?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
To be quite honest. So, yeah, maybe it's train residue. Maybe it's the Mon monster barfing from the river onto my car. Maybe it's that cyclist. Maybe that's why she tried to run me down. Maybe, well, no, I mean, she does. I'm sure they all have a vendetta. So maybe it was, the cyclist from Bike Pittsburgh, like, dumping something onto my car.
Yeah, we have a message board for people like you where we talk about
Who has it out for Brian Crawford in the city of Pittsburgh? That's what I want to know right now.
We have an app called Bike
Here
Revenge with no E at the end.
on the River's
all
Edge. If you have an
lowercase.
idea, please let me know. I need your help. Somebody is out to get me.
It's like Uber for
Somebody has
revenge.
tried to sabotage my vehicle. So please, you can hit us up here on Twitter at RiverTalkPGH or the Facebook Live feed. Tara, if you see a comment, please let us know. I got to know what's going on. Somebody has tried to take a shot at me. Someone has tried to render me carless. There is some sort of substance X leaking from the bridge in the south side.
I'm so glad you have a radio show because otherwise all this stuff would just be in flyers around the city. That's so you. Just tacked up on boards and poles.
Yeah, I mean, this is the voice of the next generation here in Pittsburgh. This is the voice of reason. I am Pittsburgh's moral compass. I am your voice of reason among three rivers of chaos. This is where you go for honest reporting, the facts, and a beacon of truth to set a city in chaos straight. You should be glad that this program exists because I am the only thing keeping this city from utter disarray. So basically what I'm trying to say is you're welcome. So what do you think it is? I mean, what could this substance be? I mean, it looked like mud, but I've never seen anything like this where, it's crazy to wash your car twice thoroughly in basically it have no effect.
If we're ruling out liquid
And does this
karma-
mean that you can't park under any bridge in Pittsburgh? Because Pittsburgh is cluttered with this shit.
And if we've ruled out biker revenge paste, then probably some kind of train grease or something like that.
Yeah, because it was a pretty heavy rain that Saturday. Do you think maybe...
Oh, do you remember in the second Ghostbusters, there was the stuff that was forming below the city from everyone's bad attitudes? Could Pittsburgh have some rain or a sky version of that seeping from the bridges?
Well, it could be you know what it could be? I just had a thought. Maybe it's because there's always acid rain everywhere. That's something that everyone talks about. The pollution, it creates acid rain. Well, maybe it's the shit flowing into the river from Alcason, and maybe it is just evaporating into the air and then raining down.
I vote we
onto my
blame
car.
Uber and let it go. I think probably Uber's a good scapegoat on this one. We've been blaming them for a lot lately, and I don't think we should stop now.
I don't know. I think it's one of my enemies coming to attack me. But I do wonder, train grease, that's an interesting thought. I hadn't really thought of that.
If it's a trestle, that's what I'd go with.
Is it a trestle? I'm not
I
sure.
don't
Does anybody
remember.
know? Does anybody know?
I don't know which bridge. You were very nondescript.
It's the bridge by the big freaking clock in the south side. There's only one big clock in the south side.
Right, and there's a train trestle right next to it, and then there's also a road bridge.
So it's one of the two.
Yes, it's either a trestle
One
or a
of those
bridge in
two.
Pittsburgh.
So we need to know. We need to find out. If you know what bridge this is, if you has anyone else experienced this? Has anyone else WD-40'd their car? I don't know. We've got weird news right after this break. I know you've got a story. I've got a couple here as well. We're going to talk a little bit about food. We're going to talk about some creepy virtual reality type shit. And we're also going to talk about shit. And that's all after the break on the weird news. 3 weird stories to keep the Mon Monster at bay. That's up next
Ooh, yeah.
here on Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music.
Hey, listen up for some sweet pizza discounts. The River's Edge is partnering with Frank's Pizza and Chicken to offer you 10% off your za. That's short for pizza.
Seriously? Za?
What?
Anyway, mention you heard this ad and Frank's will give you 10% off your order of $15 or more.
Oh my god, have you tried their famous buffalo chicken pizza?
Oh, don't even get me started. Can you name all 4 Frank's locations?
Millville, obviously. Troy Hill, Shaler, and North Hills.
Gold star. Anyway, support the River's Edge Radio Network by ordering from Frank's Pizza and Chicken the next time you get hungry for some za. And don't forget to mention you heard this ad so you get your 10% off. Go to frankspizzachicken.com for more info.
Offer good for a limited time. Order must be $15 or more before taxes. Cannot be combined with other discounts or offers. Other legal jargon and whatnot.
Brian Crawford here on the River's Edge Radio Network with Michael Cohen, and he's some breaking news.
Brian, I just saw via Facebook from Twitter.
So, super imported source,
From Terry Jones.
New York Times, Wall Street Journal.
From Terry Jones
Washington Post.
of Limbo Negroes, of the new popular Limbo Negro album, just informed me via Facebook, today's date is the same forward and backward.
So what does that mean for society?
It's a confusing day. Or it's a less confusing day.
You don't have to think. Yeah.
It's dyslexia day. Today, dyslexics are equal to other people.
Yes. Today it's a good day. So
That's what
very important
all
news. So, all right, we've got the weird news. It's coming. We've got the weird news music right now. Say who?
Watch My World Die or number one?
No, a number one weapon.
Okay, I got it.
So, Watch My World Die. This is the weird news segment. No, this is. That's for later. I've got a real depressing story for later. All right. Welcome back. This is the weird news segment. I would say both of us are. We've been tag teaming it, Michael and I. We are Pittsburgh's number one weapon, fighting the Mon Monster as it terrorizes the citizens of this great city and tries to destroy everything we hold true. So we try to keep the beast at bay with 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 weird stories to entertain the beast. And we'll start off with bacon. So,
What about bacon?
So PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, they're very anti-bacon. And they said, present your best argument for eating bacon on Twitter. That was a mistake. Because everybody responded with the reason why they love bacon. So nobody was amused. I'm trying to pull up what people have said here. The comments were fantastic. And, of course, my internet has decided to crap out. So we'll go to your story and we'll get back to the bacon news.
All right. So kind of piggybacking on my story from last time, which, if you recall, was Bluetooth and web-enabled sex toys, right? And this is sort of a large the Internet of Things. The government of Germany is telling its citizens to smash certain dolls if they are inside the home. I'm going to tell you why. The Kayla doll collects the IP addresses and prompts children to set their physical location. All right? It asks, amongst other questions, complete the following statement. My name is, my mom's name is, my dad's name is, my favorite TV program is, I go to school at,
Wow.
my favorite toy is, and the place I live is called.
Holy shit.
Yeah. All right. And as you read down in this article, which is up on the outline, Kayla's not the first doll like this. All right. Let's see. Hello Barbie had so little security that it would actually, not only could you get the age, name, and gender of and recorded conversations that the child was having with the doll, but it would attach to any Wi-Fi with the word Barbie in the name. Okay, so like that's not even hacking this thing. That's just I don't even know what the word for something that easy is. And this is part of a whole new industry. IQ Robot, which has similar issues. And this gets back to this thing, which is why do we need an Internet of Things? Like, we have had things that have been just fine. We control them with our hands. All right? And these,
Don't knock the internet. That's how I make my cash.
I'm talking about the Internet of Things.
Okay, the Internet of Things.
Web-enabled items that live in your home and collect data on you.
What are you trying to say
and
about Alexa
send
over
it
there?
to places that you. I'm saying that Alexa can be subpoenaed to testify against you in court, Brian. That's what I'm saying.
Alexa's a bitch.
How many of our items are spying on us? And for sex toys with cameras, children's toys that record their conversations and ship them to predators or
Well, that's really creepy, yeah.
advertisers,
Especially with the kids'
insofar as
toys.
there's a difference.
That's really messed up with the kids' toys.
But it's
especially,
everything, right?
Yeah, but especially with kids, I don't know. I feel like anything that has to do with kids is automatically worse.
Yeah, it's automatically a little
Like
creepier.
Alexa's, she's spying on me in the studio, but it's like, I don't know.
Well-
Alexa's not going to lure me into a van with candy.
If she was in your home,
Maybe if she has a
and
good
you
cigar.
had a child, she would also be spying on your kids.
Yeah. So that makes sense. But that's my point. Like the kids, it's worse because, Alexa could then come up with like I said, the van with the free candy.
Totally. And the thing is, right, is that
But I'll be honest, if like somebody came up with like a creepy van with like free margaritas, I'd be tempted.
well, I mean, yeah, of course. Tempted, I'd be drunk.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, but that is the thing, right? If the kids are your crux right there, right? Like a smart refrigerator or a smart thermostat or any of these things are all in homes with children. They're all in homes with us in our most intimate moments.
But it does make things really, really nice. Like when Google tells me that there's like a traffic accident on 28 or how long it's going to take to get to work or...
Like when I'm talking back at Pornhub, I don't want anything listening. You know what I mean?
Sure, but what if they get you a better product? They're listening in, they kind of figure out what you like, and they steer you in
Yeah.
the right direction. So there you go. So you could be missing out.
Point is, kids' toys, sex toys, everything's getting wired to the internet now. Don't believe the hype. I'm gonna find something on Uber and their driverless cars for next week.
So are you going to stop coming into the studio now because of Alexa and her spying?
No, I'm just gonna mean mug her on the way in every time.
All right.
I got my eye on you.
So bacon. So again, PETA said, present your best argument for eating bacon. And we have a senator who posted a picture of him.
God, Orrin Hatch is the devil, but he's probably right today.
Yes, there's a picture of him looking into a freezer full of bacon. There's just all of the just him holding bacon, all these memes of him with bacon.
Wait, did he even post them or did someone else
I think
post
somebody else posted them of him. No, actually, he's posting them, so you can see it. Yeah, it's from his verified account.
Oh
He's
my God,
posting
Orrin
it.
Hatch
He's-
is trolling PETA. It's 2017.
And let's see. There's this other group that said they posted a meme. It says, "Sir, I don't agree with you very often, but bacon." Everybody's posting about bacon. Everybody loves bacon. And let's see. Here's somebody here. He goes, "I think the worst argument for eating bacon is still better than the best argument to not eat bacon." And here's the thing. I have a lot of respect for like vegans and vegetarians because I don't know how the hell they do it. I could not do it.
I think awe and respect should be different things. But go on.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could not do it. Like the other day, I've been trying to not go out as much, and I've been trying to avoid like the $14 burgers at the restaurant down the street. But the other day, I was just like, I had this craving. I just couldn't stop. I was like a madman, and I had to run in and get this big, delicious burger. And luckily, somebody was there and picked up the tab because when you're a big shot like me, Michael, people just take care of you.
I can't wait.
So.
Someday I will ride your coattails to free burgers.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and the burger was fantastic, too. And it was free. Like I said, it was wonderful.
Honestly, after 6 years of being vegan, I cannot imagine ever going back.
I couldn't, yeah, I could never do it.
ever.
I mean, I honestly, I look at these people who do it, and I'm thinking, how do you do it? Like, I just, it blows my mind.
Here's the thing. I don't even eat bacon generally. But just any kind of, lean meats, my body loves them. It's not even that I love them. I do love them. But it's not even that I love them. I just feel good.
Yeah.
In a way that I just did not for 6 years.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, you know what? The thing is people are supposed, we're omnivores. We're not herbivores. So you need a little bit of everything. And, red meat is part of the diet. And actually, there have been some studies. I don't have the actual study in front of me. I'm just, throwing stuff at the dartboard here. But there was a study that showed that actually it could be productive if you don't eat red meat. It's unhealthy for you, and you can actually end up gaining weight because you'll just keep eating and eating and eating because you're never actually full. So you could actually be doing yourself a disservice by removing that from your diet. Obviously, you don't want to like go out and just eat, red meat all the time, but it's moderation.
Anything that makes you sweat as soon as you finish it is probably not great for you.
Or it's really great for you. See, the thing is there's always that mental health aspect that I always, key in. If it makes you happy, it's mentally healthy. It's boosting your self-confidence, your self-esteem.
Cocaine.
So, yes.
Sorry, go on.
So, all right.
Our next sponsor is.
Yeah. Have you ever had the runs?
I think we both know the answer to that.
So, these our third weird news story of the day is these porta potties had the runs. There was a series, a group, a gang of runaway porta potties in Russia. There was basically a huge, powerful storm, and it sent all of the porta potties on the run. And the porta potties were like chasing down the street. They were actually on the move, on their own.
They have wheels? Or
It was just a really bad storm. There's a video actually on RT you can look up, and it shows the porta potties on the run.
I'm just really impressed at the Russian engineering of porta potties that didn't fall over.
Yeah, that's
To me, that's
pretty impressive.
When you say windstorm and porta potties, I'm thinking doo-doo everywhere. All these things face down, leaking like a shanked body on the sidewalk. And you're saying they stayed up perfectly despite hurtling.
Yeah,
up.
and they actually ran down the street.
You win this one, Russia.
Yeah,
You win this
that's
one.
pretty impressive, actually. I'm pretty impressed with that. So, let's roll into this story about McDonald, Pennsylvania. We'll only touch on it. We were supposed to have a guest come in, but who knows where he's at. So, in McDonald, the mayor, the old mayor, he was angry because kids...
Same as the new mayor.
Yes. So, but he's actually an older gentleman.
Ah, very good.
So that's why I'm saying the old mayor. Yes. So he's not ancient, but he's an older guy. So it's one of those towns. You get the people in council. They've been there for forever. So the mayor and in the city hall and everybody, they are upset because kids are saying mean words on the basketball court. It's just not nice. So they want to clean up the town. So they've decided, because people can't stop swearing and they're smoking cigarettes, that they have decided to get rid of basketball.
It's like a rock and roll music video there.
And so the big controversy, it actually, I think the basketball thing is not even the biggest controversy here. The mayor was recorded on video as telling one of the young adults who was there at the basketball court that he should act like a respectable young white boy, and that has caused a big controversy. So, so the kid, the man was supposed to, not the mayor, but the man who recorded the video, and basically what he did is he just was he had his phone kind of at the side and was just recording everything that happened there. And it was pretty intense. Everybody was, they were mad at these people. They wanted them out of there, and they were telling them, you have to leave immediately, and, this, that, and the other. And then he comes out and he says this, and I'm thinking, I bet you most of Pittsburgh, and maybe most of Pittsburgh will still come on the side of the mayor. I don't know. But I feel like most of Pittsburgh would have come out on the mayor's side. Because everybody, you can't even go to a Penguin game and, you yell fuck the Flyers, and everyone's like, oh, the young ears, they can't deal with it. Their mind is going to be completely molded, melted away and molded into some sort of evil carnival of hate because they heard a mean word.
Leaving only the tiny ball of lead accumulated through the drinking water of their childhood.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so anyways, I don't know. I was interested to hear, this guy's thoughts on it, but maybe, maybe he is a hoodlum since he never shut up for the damn show.
Maybe he's being intimidated.
Maybe. I don't know.
Got a menacing call from the mayor.
Maybe. So, I don't know. But yeah, just stupid stupid things that people say. I mean, you got to watch because everybody's filming nowadays, which sometimes is a good thing, sometimes is not a good thing. So like in this case, it's like, he probably wouldn't have said that if he wasn't stressed or whatever, but he kind of got the core of maybe what he really believes, because you don't accidentally say something like that. But like, I don't know, I feel like it's to a point where you're afraid to say anything.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the kind of thing that you say. I feel like that's not the kind of thing that you just say once. I feel like if you're saying that to someone in the middle of a park, in the middle of an altercation, that's probably a thing you've said before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just like that's not one of those things where you just like diss someone's mom a little too hard or whatever. Like that's a strange phrase. I'm not familiar with that phrase in day to day. Yeah.
There was one time I had someone on my show and they said something that was a little questionable, and I had asked them if they were a Southern plantation owner. So I feel like that would be like the question that you would ask this mayor with what he said there.
Yeah, there you go. Sir, did you grow up in Mississippi? Because otherwise...
Yeah, it's just not a good choice of words. But I mean, are we getting to a point with the recording? Obviously, something like that is a little bit different because it's more of an extreme thing to say. But I mean, you can't even make a joke anymore without people like filming you and then taking a bit of it and posting it and trying to ruin your life.
Oh, I mean, I definitely worry about... I mean, like, even like here with this show that we do now, like I don't think that it's like going to be super archived and that people will be listening to it intentionally in 5 to 10 years, these old episodes.
I mean, I am a huge celebrity.
You are, and you're getting bigger. But my point is that even now, like where I want to be a stand-up at some point, like a professional stand-up at some point, like I think very much about the things I say on this show and what it would look like if in 8 years, when things are even more progressive than they are now, if someone went back and looked at this thing that I had said 8 years ago.
But could we get to a point where we become so progressive that it's actually easier because we've progressed to the point where we're not so sensitive because we're not...
That is not the direction we are progressing in.
Yeah, this is true. But could it end up coming full circle? I mean, you don't want to get to a point where, like, before people were, like, closet racists and things like that. But could we get to a point where, like, you can make a joke and it be a joke and not everybody immediately think that you're some sort of a hater or something?
Probably not in the next 10 to 15 years.
That's a shame. It is a shame because it's like... I don't like the culture where we want to destroy everyone's life because...
Well, and that really is kind of the question. Is it's like, okay, so when people step afoul, how do we engage with that? Like, do we educate them? Do we crucify them? Yeah, do we call for their blood on Twitter? What is the... Do we try to get them fired, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons, like, I don't use my legal name for stand-up or radio or anything like that. There was that DJ on Facebook who made some joke about the kid whose body wound up in the river. And honestly, like, it wasn't even a mean joke because it wasn't really about the kid. It was mechanically a fine joke as well. But people came after him super hard and they were like, oh my God, like this child's family had to see that joke. And it's like, no, that child's family didn't need to see that joke. Y'all reposted it 1,000 times because you were outraged. And now that child's family has seen that joke. That's like if I told the joke to 100 of my friends and one of them went and got that kid's parents, brought them back into the room. We're like, hey, Mike, tell that joke again. And then we're like, you are a monster. And they got the DJ fired from his like evening gigs and stuff. And it was, it was brutal.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know, like, I've seen that even happen on the local level where, people, or like...
That is the local. That's here in
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, that was right here in Pittsburgh.
That Duquesne student that wound up in the river.
Oh,
and the DJ basically said he was like, this is awful, right? It is kayaking season, people. Put some cement shoes on the bodies if you're going to dump them. Right? Which is not like... That's not a personal... Anyway.
Yeah. I feel you. It's...
Here I am. Like, this guy lost his job for it. Let me repeat it on the air.
You're out of here. Done.
Done.
So fired. So, speaking of terrible endings, let's get into why the world is coming to an end.
you got for us?
Oh, it's good. This is really a pretty big crisis. This story here.
This is not progress, this is distress. Oh, what a mess, what a big bloody mess. This is not a war, this is not a fair fight. This is not a window for you to see the light. This is not a battle, this is not a victory. This is not about the desert or the oil or being free. This is not a revolution when there is no solution. This is impossible to find a conclusion. I can't stand here and watch my world die.
Well, I have been standing here and I have been watching my world die, and I'll be quite honest, I'm sick of seeing this rot on the north side. It has nothing to do with the people who live there. It has to do with the lack of coffee. So you get there in the evening and it is a coffee desert on the north side, especially in Manchester. There's nowhere to get coffee. I mean, there's convenience stores in multiple places, but none of the convenience stores have coffee. I mean, I was there was no coffee made. The guy goes to make some coffee for me. He doesn't have a freaking thing of coffee at a convenience store to make me a fresh pot of coffee. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any coffee. I'm like, how in the hell don't you have coffee when it's a convenience store? Isn't that the entire purpose of going to a convenience store?
Why don't you go to Cafe Sunoco over by the Giant Eagle?
Because that's on the other side of the north side. I'm on the Manchester side. That's on the Deutschtown side. So I go there and and then whenever they do have coffee, it's been sitting out for so long that it's turned into something other than coffee. It's terrible. It's like that substance X that I was talking about. So I'm wondering if that's what frickin' fell on my car Saturday in the south side, if it was used, transformed, morphed coffee that someone spilled out of their car or out of the train, whichever it was, onto my car. Because, I mean, this stuff has got to be killer. This stuff is horrible. Horrible. It tastes so terrible. It is, ugh. I don't know how people drink it. It's been sitting out for hours and hours and hours. So I can't drink it. I would rather not have any coffee than have this substance. So I got to thinking, what if somebody drank that substance X every day?
Superpowers. Definitely superpowers.
That's the sound that I make when I'm going into a pondering motion. So I'm pondering. What would happen? What would happen if somebody drank that black elixir of sludge that used to be coffee every day? And I don't know why I'm doing the jazz hands, but I feel like that's what you should do when you ponder off into a deep thought. So I'm thinking it would have to be some sort of a disease. We talked about a disease. I feel like superpowers may come. It might be, but I imagine it would be more like a dark type of superpower. Like I feel like leprosy of the organs.
Probably whatever weird cure they tried to use on you to fix whatever disease was caused by that is the thing that would interact and then give you the superpowers. Probably the sludge just melts your innards.
That's what I imagine. I imagine it, would melt your innards. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it comes out the other end and that's what flew onto my car.
It definitely does come out the other end.
Yeah, it's...
If it doesn't come out the other end, you're in big trouble.
Maybe it doesn't come out the other end. Maybe it just gunks up your insides and that's how you die. But I mean, honestly, what is the world coming to? What kind of society do we live in when you can't even get to a convenience store and get a fresh cup of coffee?
I'll tell you what's going on. We've got those new trade deals going on with the British. I bet there was fucking tea there, wasn't there?
Probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Damn you, Theresa May. So, we're going to roll
backwards.
along. We've got... We're going to roll... Yeah. So,
Put it in the fucking harbor. That's where tea belongs. Tara hasn't weighed in this whole show.
Yes, we've got Tara here behind the board. So, Tara, what do you think? What is this coffee?
Maybe it's tea. and you didn't recognize it as such.
No, I mean this stuff is foul.
Rank.
Yeah, it's rank. It's pretty terrible.
Oh, I guess I meant they were giving us the worst coffee in order to coerce us into switching to tea.
To tea. Maybe
I would
that's-
not suggest that they would try to slip us tea. That would be un-American.
Yes. So we have Nathan here across the table. We're gonna roll along, but I mean that really is. I mean that's a pretty.
It's gross.
Yeah, that's a pretty terrible situation. I mean that you can kind of see like where the world is ending with.
The mark of a decaying civilization.
It is. So. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Tara's
Industrial
on top of
society
it.
has failed us.
So we've got Nathan here of Standard Broadcast, and we are here to talk about the Indie Rock Fest, which is going to be on the 22nd.
Yes.
So this is the second year. And you're the one that has organized all of this?
Yes. It's started last year. I don't know if it should be facing you.
Yeah, it's kind of like face, like, yeah, like,
Okay.
we're good. So it started last year.
Yeah, it started last year, and how it all came together was we were playing the Winter Rock Showcase that the X puts on at the Hard Rock Cafe. It was Standard Broadcast and 4 other bands, and we just all had a great time. But when you're in something like that, they give you like 15 minutes, and you get like 2, 3, 4 songs in.
Sure.
And we all just really enjoyed each other's music and company. So I'm like, you know what? Let's like put on a show with 5 bands, and everyone has like 45 minutes set. And we did that last year at Cativo as well. And we put it on at the downstairs stage, which is the bigger one there. And it went really, really well. Everyone had a really good time. And this year, we got a lot more interest in it. We have 12 acts. We're on both stages, upstairs and
awesome.
downstairs. We have 2 of the bands are signed to local labels. Big shout out to Jeff Benton and Misra Records and Wild Kindness Records as well. So I'll just read off real quick if you don't mind the bands.
Yeah,
we got.
go for it. There's first off, I
Yeah.
will say a lot of really great bands here.
Yeah.
Several bands that you can actually hear right here on the
Yeah,
River's
yeah.
Edge as well. So
And I genuinely enjoy all these different bands' music, so I kind of handpicked these guys. So we have Adam Maroli, which is also, he goes by A Money, and A Money in the Downtown. They're actually finishing up their EP right now. It's going to be great. A Little Less Human. They're awesome. Ancient History, Bad Custer, Daily Grind, Dan Getkin in the 12-6.
who is a big fan of Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
So we got into a big argument over that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
did you
right.
see
I was a part of
right.
that.
Yeah, because
I
you
was
were on
part of
my
that.
side.
Yeah, I was on your side,
Yeah,
yeah.
overrated.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible.
Overrated.
And I'm an art ed major
Tara's
too. I have,
flipping
both
me
my
off.
parents are art teachers. I have a degree to teach art. Yeah, he's a great businessman. Terrible. And he actually didn't do he had all these underlings like doing the actual physical work too. But
Yeah.
That's for another show, which we
should do
should
that.
have.
Yeah, we should have that show. Yeah,
I
and
want to
talk
get
about
both
that.
sides, and we can just
Maybe we
punch
could
each
do it in
other.
front of the framed slice of bread that he bought from Giant Eagle, and we can debate it there.
Yeah.
Was it from
we'll
Giant
have to
Eagle?
piss on it first.
What's this?
Was it from Giant Eagle?
I don't know. Well, see, that was like something. So, like, I was talking with somebody actually. You bring up an interesting point because I was talking about Andy Warhol, not to completely go off topic, but I will. So we were talking about Andy Warhol, and I was telling about my story about how I saw this print with the car crash, and I thought, wow, this is great. And then I saw it next to the the framed slice of bread, and I thought, you bastard. So I was telling somebody about that, and because I thought I would give him another chance, and then I'm like, no, my first instinct was right. So they said, you know what, Brian, he put more effort and more work into that than you give him credit for. And I thought about it for a second. I said, damn it, you're right. He had to clip the coupons. He had to shop match between Giant Eagle, Shop and Save,
Isley's.
Kroger's, Foodland. He needed to compare prices to make sure he got the best value for that loaf of bread to get that pre-cut slice to put into that frame.
Last
So,
sponsor, he got it from SureSave in Bloomfield. Yeah. SureSave. Keep Pittsburgh shitty.
I heard Isley's is coming back, right? Isley's?
Isley's, yeah. So, actually,
But anyway, Dan Getkin,
Yeah.
great guy.
he is a good guy, yes.
Stay on.
Yeah, they're awesome. Essential Machine, Henry Pekorski, who's an awesome singer-songwriter and hosts a bunch of open mics around Pittsburgh. Native Alloys, they're one of my favorite bands in Pittsburgh. Pop Thief, they're great. Us, Standard Broadcast, and There You Are. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be both stages, and they're going to be offsetting. So it's like $10 for the whole day, night. And so when one set ends, you go upstairs and watch the other one. When that ends, you go back downstairs. So, and it's, $10 gets you admission to everything.
Which
And- and
$10 for all of these bands is a steal.
And the thing that I really wanted to push with this is if there's a lot of fellow musicians listening to this out there or watching that, like, the hardest thing about playing most venues in Pittsburgh is it's just mostly pay to play, like for everything. So for this event, every cent of this goes to the artists. So all these bands are trying to do their EPs or their LPs or just get a single out. There's no promotion companies involved. I literally paid for the venue, and all the proceeds that we get are going to that.
That's
so
awesome.
I wanted to thank you guys as being one of the sponsors. River Edge, Full Pint is a brewery, and our main sponsor is Mike Pittsburgh. And Emily Plazak is doing fantastic things for the indie musicians in this town. So please go to Mike Pittsburgh and check that out. She's working on something that's called the IMBM, the Indie Music Business Model. That is to help all of us unsigned musicians out there. And I think that's launching at the end of the month in July. But please go check out Mike Pittsburgh. It's all free. It's just great information for everybody. So.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So, which of the bands did you perform with when you were on the Winter Rock Showcase?
We played with the Dove Wires. I'm sure you know those guys. We played with The Show, which they were really good. They're no longer
around. Yeah.
We played with Little Less Human, and There You Are.
Okay, great.
So they're coming back for the second year, and just want to keep this ball rolling. Just like we played the Millville Music Festival.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
awesome. So I'm looking forward to many more of those, and same with this because. This, like I said, is kind of just like a benefit for the actual musicians.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that gets lost a lot. Like, we play tons of shows for other benefits and things, and it's like, hey, we need to buy a cup of coffee still.
Yeah, right.
Like, studio time is not cheap. So, everyone loves local music. We have a great, fantastic scene in this town. We really do. I've lived in, LA and North Carolina and other places, and there's really nothing like Pittsburgh music scene.
Really? So you would say that this
big
is
family. It's like it's really, really cool. Just the fact that we had the first one off of a battle of the bands in essence, where you should be
Right.
like F you, you
Yeah.
suck. And we all were like, oh man,
That's the weird-
love your music. Let's do this.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing about the music scene.
Yeah.
And you could probably talk to this. I feel like in the comedy scene, it's not always as worked together all the time. Is that accurate?
Well, I mean, yeah, it can be a little competitive. It can be a little clicky.
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
in Pittsburgh's music scene.
But once you've
clicky,
got your
too.
click, it's a
Yeah.
good click.
But I feel like the music scene, though, it's like somebody said, like the scene that's here at the Acoustic Cafe, which is
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
We can actually see
Yeah, I've
the
been there.
fun
It's
house.
great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So people say that that's like a click, but it's the easiest click to get into. So I feel like you have your groups in the music scene, but it's like not exclusive. They're
And
pretty.
the thing is to go to those.
welcoming.
If you're a new musician,
yeah.
you're trying to get started, go because that may be clicky, but everyone's really friendly. So it's not people aren't shitty with you or anything like that. And that's how I met. I mean, I literally met Dan Getkin at that.
No.
At that.
Oh, that's interesting because
Yeah.
I actually see. I can take credit actually for this lineup because I was the one that introduced him to the Acoustic Cafe.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
see how it all
But
comes together.
Also, I think the accusations of clickiness are oftentimes overrated. Where I think people expect everyone at a place to make them feel really welcome.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think once people have their own projects, they want you to invest in them, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you approach the same people over and over again, I think eventually they will want to work with you. But yeah, I mean, you can't just show up at a place as a brand new open mic comic or a brand new musician
Right. You gotta
and
earn it.
expect everyone there who's busy as shit with all their stuff. Like, oh my God, we're so glad that you're here.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I used to run in activist circles where it is kind of like that. It's almost cultishly friendly. And it's creepy, really. I almost want to have to earn people's respect or attention a little bit. I mean,
Yeah. There's something to that for sure.
well,
I mean, yeah.
and also people pass through those spaces so much, right?
Yeah.
In comedy, we're accused of being a little cliquey, but it's people show up to open mics 3 times, think they're the shit. When they
Okay.
realize that they're not the shit, they don't show up again.
Yeah.
You know, and then what? Like I have friends. Like I'm not out. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah, people probably think like I probably go the opposite direction where people probably think like, you know, oh, this guy's pathetic because like I have a thing like, you know, when I grew up, like you would go to any kind of family function and you say hi to every single person and then you say goodbye. So I go into like the acoustic cafe and I'm like going around the entire room, hi. I was like, oh, hi, like, you know, like a politician going in there
there's
like
nothing wrong with being
shaking
too
hands with
friendly.
everybody.
No, it's
yeah.
no, it's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm not coming out against friendly.
No. I know what you're saying. No, you're talking about something different where somebody feels like they're like entitled to get everyone's approval. I don't feel that way. I run and chase everybody
Brian
down.
guy, he didn't follow me into the bathroom to shake my hand before I left. or whatever, you know?
Exactly. So, but I mean, I will like, you know, when I'm about to leave, like I'll be in a rush, but I'll still be like looking around, like I gotta find so and so because so and so's still here. I gotta say goodbye to them, and that's just like my mentality. So, like, I will like hunt people down when I'm here or at any event if I know they're there to make sure I say goodbye before I leave.
And the other cool thing about this particular festival, I know like Pittsburgh's like chock full of festivals. Like we're in Deutsch, you know, playing the Deutschtown Festival, and I'm so happy this is the week after because when I was setting this up, Deutschtown hadn't picked their date yet.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, please. It's like, but it was a week before. But the one thing that's really cool about again Indie Rock Fest is indie rock means. Or the indie part of it is indie labels. All these bands aren't like indie rock. There's like Dan Getkin. They're like almost like bluegrass, like the Lumineers.
It's independent
Like Pop
rock.
Thief
Yeah, it's
is
not the-
Pop Thief is kind of is funk and A Money's like funk and rap.
you're
We
getting
have
a
a
good
cello in
variety.
our band. So there's a lot of indie rock in there, but there's going to be a lot for everybody to like. And I didn't want to have and like Henry Bikorsky is just hands down one of the best singer-songwriters in this town. Like everybody's worked with him. He was the most welcoming host of an open mic when it was at Eclipse.
Okay.
Yeah. And now it's at Full Pint. And when we were getting our sea legs in the music, we started out just the 3 of us. And it was me, Holly, our guitarist now, she was the drummer, and then Leland Shaw is the cello player. And, you're nervous in the beginning, especially, and he was the most welcoming guy. I met half these people, like Richard Woodson from Pop Thief, and a lot of people from at these open mics, and then you just develop these great relationships. Which, by the way, Richard from Pop Thief did these amazing. He's a graphic designer.
Oh,
did
nice.
great
Yeah, these look great.
posters.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Big shout out to him.
This is so easy to read and navigate, which is
Yeah.
one thing I love about the flyer.
Yeah.
And all the information's right there, but it's everything looks great.
Yeah, because I did the first one, and then I'm like, can someone else do this? 'Cause
Yeah,
It was pretty bad, but yeah. So there will be something for everybody. If you really do enjoy, the music scene around, please come to this because it's everyone wants to give back. This is like the best way to directly give back to these bands and musicians, so they can keep bringing you, more music and stuff like that. Hopefully, this just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, and we want to try to sell out this venue. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So tell me, how did you get started with Standard Broadcast? How did that all come to fruition?
I play keys and sing, and our cello player Leland, we were starting to be in another band that didn't really get off the ground, and I kind of met him through that, through a mutual friend, and we were just like, damn it, because we got really close in that to getting off the ground. We're like, well, you just want to come over to my place? And we started, it was just going to be the 2 of us, and we're going to do like a Foster the People, kind of get like a drum machine and like do a little more electronic, and then we quickly realized that sounded terrible. So we brought on Holly Fromlack, who I've known. She's one of my little sister's best friends. She's another Shaler grad, and she came in and played drums, so we were...
Just lean in a little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
I can't see it on camera.
Yeah, sorry. So we were, a 3-piece for a while, and then she's a classically trained guitar player, like went to WVU for guitar, and we're like, well, that would make more sense. So we found our drummer, Jeff Scalio, off of Craigslist, another great Craigslist story, and he's been a great addition, and he's awesome. So we've been together for about 3-4 years now.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, so you've been through all the festivals and everything else. So, what does that add to? I mean, obviously, like a festival like this is great because it's something that's going to be funding the artists. I mean, but a lot of them are striving to do that. I know with the Millville Music Festival. We finally just got all of our finances
That
together,
was
so-
one of the,
so
the
we'll be
most
putting
fun
that
shows
out.
I played, by the way.
Oh,
it was
thank you.
awesome. And social media was like a big part of that because you had so many stages, but they were all close that we started
Yeah.
playing our set with like maybe 35, 40 people. And by the end of our set, we had like over 100 people. Because I think people were like, hey, come check this out.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You know, because there was a lot of like in between times, like we're different bands. So we had a girl that heard us on one of our songs was played on the X, and she came down just to hear our. I'm like, we have like a
Nice.
real fan.
We have a fan.
So she got free shirts and CDs and everything like that. But like,
Yeah.
that's the great thing about these festivals and all the radio stations like you guys have been, super supportive, like YEP and the X and you guys and WPTS sat us on. So it's like,
Yeah, WPTS is great.
it's like
so.
super great that how willing everybody is and supportive to do all this stuff. So
It seems like that's become almost like it's weird because like I don't get it. Like, I love the fact that everybody gets excited about the festivals, and that's wonderful, and I understand the excitement, but it becomes almost like a resume builder for a lot of the
Yeah.
bands, and
it's absolutely true.
I don't understand why, because like Deutschland has 200 some bands, we had 100 some bands.
Well, I think it's because there's a surplus of bands.
Okay.
And the venues, important venues, are harder to get into. I think. Like we have. I'm super excited. We got invited. We have our first Smalls main stage.
I
show
saw that.
we're
That's awesome.
headlining,
Yeah.
and that's Saturday, August 26th. It's like all the kids should be coming back. Getting ready to college, and that's an all ages show. Which we're a little older. I'm pushing 40, so it's great. Like most of my friends will come out and see us once or twice, but I have kids. Like so when you get in the all ages, they buy more merch. They love your shows. They promote you more on their social
Yeah.
media. So super pumped for that. So big shout out to Kate Selowitz and Wake Up on Fire. She's the one that promoting that show. So. They've been great to work with. So, but yeah, that's the thing. You have to do those shows like these festivals and stuff, so people kind of take you seriously. The
Yep.
people at these venues, because they literally ask you for that in email. If you send them an email, say, hey, I want to play your show, they're like, okay, first it's X amount of dollars. Where have you played before? And that's kind of like, Hugh Tywin and like in like Deutschtown Festival. That's a really good way to get your foot in the door. Because someone does see that, and you are printed on a flyer that might get you into Club Cafe
Okay.
or get you into, Brillo Box. You can have that, and you could be like out of high school, being in a band like that. And same thing with they do again. If you're a young band, I'd recommend like doing these big group shows at the Rex on a Sunday at noon.
Oh, totally.
And I know Smalls does similar things. It's like, hey, come on a Friday. Show starts at 6.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's 12.
Well, I
bands,
love the
it's like-
early shows. Yeah, as
Yeah,
somebody, because I work
yeah.
overnight, so a lot of times, like
Yeah.
lately, I've been starting work at like 10:30 at
Right.
night, which has not been bad. But I used to start at 9:30, and people would have these, like, or even when I started at 10, people would have these like 9 o'clock shows.
Yeah.
But like, they wouldn't actually get rolling until like 9:30, and then
it's
it's
hard.
like,
It's tough.
yeah. Then like I end up seeing like 2 songs, and then I'm out of here. And it's like, I'm paying like $10-15 to get
Yeah.
in, and I'm seeing 2 songs, and it's like,
Yeah,
so I
that's why
love the early
we
shows.
try to keep this reasonable too. And there's there's food at the place. There's
Yeah.
obviously alcohol and drinks. So $10 to be there, like all from 5
that's
o'clock
nothing to get
on.
for all
Yeah,
of- all of those
you can
bands,
come
yeah.
and go and like bring your friends, and it's like unfortunately it is a 21 plus because just most all ages you got to be done by like 9:30, and it's just if we would have started early, it's the summertime and like everyone has stuff to do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if it was wintertime, maybe do
No, I think-
this twice a year and do
I
one
think
in the winter.
5 p.m. makes sense. I think
Yeah.
that's a great time for everything to get rolling. I know, like, I'm one of those people. It's like I feel bad because there are certain like bars that I like, but like come summertime, it's like there's no window here.
Yeah.
So I can't. However, they're all of my favorite bars are starting to build like outside areas, which is nice. But
Nice.
I like Millville is just going such a great renaissance. Like I'm from Shaler one here, and
That's what you said,
To see
yeah.
it, when they had the really bad flood about 10 years ago, it's great that they kind of fixed a lot of that. The Army Corps of Engineers to see like all these breweries coming in, and I also own a painting and carpentry company, and I flip houses, so I'm very well aware of the real estate market. So it's like Lawrenceville's totally bought out now.
Oh,
yeah.
And you can just see
It's
that great
over.
stuff coming across to Millville now because it's right across the river. So it's like I love what's going on down here, and it's it's really cool to be a part of it. So
Yes, it's Saturday, July 22nd, 5 p.m. Just $10 to get in, which is
Bring
a
a friend.
steal. So what's that?
bring a friend.
Bring a friend. Yeah, I mean
Right.
that's like for all of these bands, that's an extreme bargain.
Yeah, these
so,
are great bands.
yeah, so please come on out for that. And Nathan, let's bring you back sometime to
Yeah.
maybe before you play at Smalls. What date are you playing at Smalls?
That's Saturday, August 26th.
August
so
26th, yeah.
it'd be cool to come in, maybe bring the band.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe we can get the whole band here, and
Cool.
we could,
I would love
think
it.
That'll be fun. So
Thank you so much.
very cool. Well, and have you ever drinking the Black Elixir X
It
substance?
depends on. Yeah, there was the gas station by the zoo. I won't name which one it is, but there's
Yeah.
that one right there.
Have you
Just
ever,
over
like-
the Morningside?
Have you ever been like afraid of death?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like punishment. Like I feel like I've done wrongs in my life, and you have to drink it. So every day it was like my penance for things I must have done in the past.
Yeah. Do you have a
It's all
will?
good. Huh? I don't actually.
You don't have a will? Okay. Well, if you're getting a will,
Kids too.
and
I
you're
should have-
afraid
I
of
should have a living will.
yeah, and you're
Yeah.
afraid of dying from drinking awful
I am gonna have to
coffee.
throw away my Alexa though when I go home.
Yeah. So, well, if you're afraid of,
Yeah.
Alexa conspiring against you to poison your coffee,
Yeah, learned
and
a
you're
lot
going to
today.
make a will, I would definitely include Hahn Funeral Home, the only family-owned funeral home here in Millvale, and also they specialize in green burials, so you can save
Really?
the environment.
Actually,
yeah,
we'll probably.
as you
Green.
on your way out. So,
It's not legal to just get thrown in the ocean anymore.
no,
Where's the human dignity?
I know. So, yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Awesome. And
Whenever
if
you're-
I could just plug to standardbroadcastband.com. So check us out there.
Check it out.
We have an LP and an EP. You can get it anywhere, like
Yeah, and-
iTunes,
and-
we buy music, stream it.
You can also go, so definitely check them out. What's the website one more time?
Standardbroadcastband.com.
And if you're listening to them on the River's Edge, you can click the band page, and the link is also there as well. So there's another way to get to it. If you're already listening right now, just click bands and artists if you're on the web page, and then go to Standard Broadcast, and it's the link is there as well. So
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
All right,
I really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Definitely. Michael, what do you have coming up?
It's a slow month, but tomorrow you can catch me at the Brillo Box, opening for Gab Benesso, just like every second Tuesday. We've got a great lineup like we always do, and that is a free show.
Ooh, free. So there you
Brillo
go.
Box, 8 p.m. tomorrow. Free comedy.
Awesome. I will be back, I believe, is this the first or third Saturday? I think it might be the third Saturday coming up, huh? So I will be back here on Saturday with Jay and Howie, 10 a.m. Do not miss that. And also a big shout out to Sorgatron Media. It was kind of funny. They've been working on getting this new place of business for like ever, and then we kind of jumped and got our new place because we were in a fire, and now they now have a new place of their own. So they're moving into a brand new beautiful place. It's got a storefront where they'll be able to view the tea and everything else. So I'm really happy for them. They're wonderful people. If you listen to Awesome Cast here on Thursday mornings or Fishing Without Bait on Sunday mornings, those are both awesome. Those are both Sorgatron Media productions that we stream here at riversedgepgh.com. So that's it for me. That's it for us. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Michael. And thank you for listening. Do just be careful. Watch the coffee and do not park under any bridges.
At Mike Cohen Comedy.
Yes. And I am at River Talk PGH, and you're listening to riversedgepgh.com, Pittsburgh's voice for local music.